going on, everyone? Welcome to part 3 of how to build a NASCAR track tutorial. What's up, Taylor? I see you, and I just started talking. Sorry, I was eating. So at this point in the track, we have the track laid out. We have pit road and walls laid out. We are going to go on to completion of the track, which basically entails decorations, completing pit road, relaying the checkpoints, and blah blah blah. Start, finish line, a starting zone, and all that. So we'll go ahead and start doing that. So let's go ahead and we're gonna lay our start finish line out, which is going to be on this side of the track, a 1x5 block that is white. So we're going to go ahead and angle it a bit. Again, switch it to local, and we're going to drop it down. Now we're going to have to change the angle a little bit to match the track. So it looks like we're going to be going with something like this. We're going to have to pick up a little bit like that. So we're gonna have to actually scoot this back. No, I didn't see that, Taylor. I still, honestly, man, I don't even know what that track looks like other than what you've shown me. We're gonna have to scoot this back even further to about here. So when are you gonna be back online, Taylor? Okay, so that's going to be our start finish line. We're going to straighten it out a little bit, like so. We're not going to be able to get it all the way across the track unless we scoot it back this way a little bit and then pick it up. Well, whenever you get back online, Taylor, let me know. It's going to take some work to get you in IROC, man. I think we could do it, but you're gonna have to talk to Sleazy and apologize with everything you got there, because he's gonna be the one you gotta convince to get in. A lot of people heard the stuff that you said to Sleazy that night, so you're gonna have to put in some work to win them over, man. You gotta win over the people. Alright, so adder, welcome. All that you've missed is I've added the start finish line, which I'm adding now. So all we're doing now is you know, we're finishing the track, decorations, start finish line, restart zone, we're gonna finish pit road, etc. So, well, you know, so when it comes to pit road, like Spear Taylor was saying earlier, we could have did a Bristol like pit road where you enter on 3, and when it catches up, you know, you follow around the track and then probably exit on turn 2, go all the way around the track. You can do that. I was just, this whole point of this was just to kind of show you a basic layout of a track with a basic everything, basically. Um, once you build a few of these, I would say venture out, do different pit roads, different bankings, different surfaces, different everything, venture into your own little venomous atmosphere. But for the first few, I would say at least two. I'd build two tracks just like this, just to kind of get the hang of things, and then, go off and do whatever you want. But yeah, that's why I did that like that. So we got to start finish line. Let's add in a restart zone. For that, obviously, you're going to want the little hazard blocks. In this case, the extra large hazard block. Now, we know that we line up on turn 3 and then come around turn 4 and restart just before the finish line, so we're going to want it about right here. So we'll go ahead and sink it down to the proper level. Because if we just placed it here, it would be sitting way up like this, so we're going to have to sink it down. Yep, so when it starts out up here, if you were to just hold left, that's how fast it goes, like that. Okay. Now if you were to hold triangle and left, it rapid sinks it. Now if you were to hold triangle R3 and left, it's like super rapid sync. So when you're sinking down those wall pieces that take a minute, it's important to know R3 is a way to make it sink down faster. Alright, so the restart zone's looking good. It's a little off angle, so I'm gonna fix that by doing that. It looks like it's in a good place as far as coming out of 3. You'd have a little bit of space and then go right here before the finish line, so I think it's in a good spot. We're gonna go ahead and set it. Okay. Now to button up pit road, I believe we need some walls on the outside here. So when you're entering, you have some walls on the outside line here that kind of guide you back onto the track. Taylor, I will answer that question right after I do this. So for pit road, I like to kind of get a wall like on the entrance. For that, I'll go to dynamic, because these are what I call like free props. They're not really free, but they don't count against your 200. They only count against the 20 dynamics. So I'll change this to yellow to signify caution, pit road. And I'll place it right here. And the reason I'm placing it right here and not like right here, so when you're coming off turn 2, you have some room to enter without worrying about hitting a sign. So I'll put it like right here-ish. So you have that, all the space right here to like enter like this 10 or 12 feet. And then I'll put one on the exit in about the same spot. So for that, we'll pan out a little bit and we'll put it about right here. And then for the middle piece, we'll just kind of play around with some stuff and see what fits, and whatever fits we'll use. And it looks like it's going to be like a 3 prop situation here. So what we'll do is we'll go to this here, just give it a slight angle, put it at 85, we'll put it right at the tip of those slowdown strips. What's up, Magnus? This is part 3 of a 3-part series showing people how to build a basic NASCAR track. Whoops. This. Oh, I can't remember what this other one was at. 85, yeah. So what you could do is you could pick it up in that situation where you're retarded like me, and it'll kind of just help you remember. Alright, so 85. Come on. Alright, so again, we'll go right to the tip of these slowdown strips. Set it. And now we just need a piece to connect it. So we'll go here. We're going to need a bigger than a 1x3, obviously. So we'll go to 5, which looks like it's going to be perfect. We'll switch it to red to make it easier to see. Okay. This one will be at 85 as well. Split the difference between the other two walls and sink it down. And slide it over a bit. Okay, now we're just lining up the height. We know it's kind of squared, so again, we're going to have to do the fine adjust, so you hold square. It's good on this side. It's a little, there it is on this side, so we have to slide it over. As you see, that bow tie is a little uneven. On this side, it's even, so we're going to kind of split the difference. So, right about there. Okay, so we'll set that wall. And that's your pit road, basically. I mean, that's really all you could do there. If you have a lot of extra props at the end, you could add in some lights by going to, for this particular track, I would suggest going to the machinery section. And you go to generator and lamp, and we'll put one right here at the kinks. That's gonna be stupid. Alright, so like this, go to advanced options. You're gonna want to sink it down a little bit and then slide it in a little bit. And you see how it's sticking up right there, so we'll go ahead and we'll sink it down a little bit further. You know what, we're actually going to angle it a little bit so it won't, because you won't be able to see it. Like that. So there's that one, and I'll show you another one. Let me get this set first, and then I'll show you. So we'll set this one like this, and that's going to give you some light right there. The only other lamp prop is in stunt signs, and this one here, which we could use. I mean, you could set this like this and then sink it down like that. And then just slide it behind the wall like that. That, I mean, honestly, that might even be better. That might be better. That gives you the lights all the way across the slow strips, and it saves a prop because I won't have to use 2 of these machinery lights. So, actually, good idea. So So we'll put that there, and we'll delete the other one. So we'll get rid of this stupid thing. Alright. So that, I mean, that's really all you could do with pit road. You don't want to put anything here in this little white section just because it creates a track hazard. No, Taylor, those lights don't brick. I know they look like they do, but if you were to hit these lights, I promise you they won't brick. I know you can't see that in this car, but those lights do not brick. You could drive right through them. So that's pretty much pit road in a nutshell. So at this point, man, we are strictly on decorations. So we'll go ahead and start doing that. So like I said, Magnus, I know you haven't seen this yet. The whole reason we picked this spot was for the Space Monkey sign. It's awesome signage, especially at night. I'll show you what it looks like at night. So as you're coming to the start-finish line here, you get that awesome Space Monkey sign. Going into turn 1, I'm going to leave this little part open between these buildings. I'm going to connect these buildings with a connector piece. And then coming out of turn 1 and 2, I'm going to put, this will be all grandstand, so this will all be blocked out, this view here. But going into turn 3, you'll have all this hillside. I'm going to leave that Vinewood hillside wide open so you could see all that hillside, which looks awesome during the day and at night. So you'd get all that view. And then coming through 3 and 4, you again get that Space Monkey sign. And I'm going to leave all this open. I'm just going to cover up these blue pieces here with some low-lying grandstands. Sneak a 7 in the map somewhere. I could try, man. It's not really an easy thing to do. But this is what the track looks like from above. It's just a small little quarter mile. 6-degree banking. Alright, so let's start doing these fucking grandstands. This will be nice and easy. So we're going to cover up that whole backstretch, right? So the way to do that is you got to stunt raised props. Racetrack. I mean, prop stacking on. And we're just going to see what kind of lines up here. So this one looks not bad. This one might be a little too big, too wide. We'll try it. So we're going to flip it over, and the reason for that is if we didn't flip it, it would have that road piece on the other side, and it just kind of looks like shit. So if you flip it over, you'll get a nice solid continuous piece, and then we're going to sink it down. And you see, once you move the cursor off the track, it makes it visible to see. So you can kind of see what you're doing. So we're going to sink it down a little bit further. And then we're going to scoot it in. And block up all that excess. Look right about there. We're going to change the color so we can see if it's cutting into the track at all. Which it's not. Angle's a little off, so we're going to fix that. Oh, I fucked up. God damn it. And by flipping it to 180, I know it's perfectly flipped around because it's at 180. If it was at 179.9, it would be that 1 degree off. So we're going to slide this in a little bit. We're going to fix that angle. Like so. Okay. Alright, so here's the decision. We could make it low-lying like that. We could pick it up. We could angle it as far as like putting it like this and then picking it up. To make it look like seating almost, like something like that. Personally, I like the idea of putting it straight and keeping it low-lying. Like so. So it looks funny from up here, but when you're on the track, this is what you would see. You would just see a low-lying wall, and you would see none of the stuff behind it. So you just see like that blue and white wall like that all the way down. Magnus, don't block the city view. I know, man, I know. I'm gonna keep it low-lying like that so you can still see the buildings and everything. So the way that I set it, this is what it looks like from the car. So this would be your view from the track. So it's a little bit above the wall just to kind of block out the excess runway pieces and whatnot, but you can still see the city. And what I'll do is on top of that blue and white wall that we're riding along, I'll add some signs and some lights, and it'll look like, you know, actual sponsor, you know what I mean, like fucking signs and shit. So that piece is set. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one, which is we're going to connect these buildings. So with that being said, there's one piece I like to use for this, and it's the stunt track blend. So what I'll do is I'll put it right in the middle of these two buildings that I want to connect, and I'll switch it to roll, and I'll roll it, and then switch it to pitch. Let's go this way actually. So all we're trying to do is connect these two buildings. So we got to drop it down. We got to change the angle. We got to slide it back. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for. We'll hide that tube piece. So that's what I'm looking for. So you see how that like connected those two pieces? What I want to do now is roll it so that stripe is in the middle, because I don't want it to be that solid blue piece. I want it to be that stripe. So I'll do something like that. Then I'll straighten out the angle. Something like that. So again, anytime you do something like this, you want to look at it from the track level. Welcome, Daniel. How are you, man? I don't know who you are, but welcome. We're building the NASCAR track. This is part 3. We're doing the decorations at this point. How do you create stuff anyways? I would suggest watching part 1 and 2, and that'll give you a better idea how we've come to the point where we're at right now. It's on my YouTube channel, part 1 and 2, and then you would know where we're at. So that's about where I want that piece. You know what's connected those two buildings, so we'll go ahead and set it. And this is what it looks like from track level. So you're driving and it looks like, boom, that's a walkway from that building to that building. So what we could do is go ahead and change that to a more normal color that it would be. in real life. Like black, I would assume. And that kind of looks like a walkway from that building to that building. Then we'll go to stunt signs, and we'll put 2 lit signs on top of it to make it look like a tunnel. Advanced. We'll sink it down, put that there, put one on this side. So at night, anytime you do something with lights or something, always switch it to night to see what it's going to look like. So now that's what that section's going to look like at night, instead of just like a big blank space. You're going to have that, which looks pretty cool. And what we'll do is we'll throw some advertising in the middle of that. So let's go... I could go a blimp. Let's see what that looks like. I could go something like that. First we gotta fix it a little bit. That's kind of where we want the blimp, because from the track level, that's where you're going to be able to read it. So let's slide it over a little bit so it's in the middle of those 2 lights. Again, that's just OCD. So now, as you see, you know, as we're coming up the track, that's the perfect advertising right there. So right there is where you could put search iRock for more awesome jobs, blah, 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 blah. By doing that, you just go to race details, go to set blimp text, and search Powers Jeremy or iRock on RC for more quality creations. Oh, we ran out of letters. Let's delete that. So there you go. That's what you'd see coming up to the start-finish line. You'd have that monkey sign and that coming up. And then coming around, you'd have all that in the background. All that. We'll put something right here to kind of cover up this little blue piece. So we could put... And this is all like, it's really up to the builder, you know, there's no like certain way you have to do this every time, like it's up to you. So something like this, I'm gonna try this one first, see how I like it. I might not use it, I might use it, depends. So we'll sink this down. The whole point of this prop that I'm setting right now is to cover up this piece right here, so when you're driving on the track you don't see this big excess piece. So I want you to see this piece instead that I'm setting. So we'll go ahead and bring it right about there, and it's doing its job. It's covering up that piece. Can't see anything. Perfect. Set it. Okay, coming over here. We're going to need something to cover up this white piece. So let's go to racetrack. Bumps. This is a piece that I use quite often. Again, we're going to have to flip it over. So we'll go to 180. I realize that you should be looking ahead of you and focusing on the track Taylor. It's just the creator in me, man. If you do happen to be on that high line and you look over the wall, I don't want you to see a lot of excess and shitty built tracks, man. That's how I am. Alright, so here we go. So this piece, again, this piece is just covering up excess, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like in Creator. It's all about what it looks like in Race. So we'll slide it up as close as we can, then we'll slide it over to bite into that piece. Set it. And then we're going to actually set one more right here. A rubber piece. It's inflatable gates. Okay, so we'll go back to bumps. We'll set this one more bumps piece. We're gonna have a lot of props left here. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them all. I passed bumps, didn't I? Fuck. Alright. So the reason we flip these over, Venomous, I don't know if I showed you this. But if you... Hold on, let me lock it in. See the top of this? Wait the 10 seconds it's gonna take. But if I was to just sink that down, you'd see this whole curbs and track piece up there. If I was to just sink it down how it is now. So that's why we're flipping it over. So if we flip it over, you get the nice flat, solid color. You don't see none of that bullshit. Alright, so now that that's set, pretty much we just need one piece going from the exit of turn 3 into the entrance of turn 1 to kind of block out this excess right here of these blue pieces. So we're pretty much there, man. It's just about raceable. So all we're looking for here is something that kind of fits in there, something just like that. So again, we'll flip it over 180 degrees. And then we'll sink it down. Okay, it's looking good. Angle looks good. We got a little walkway, which I actually am kind of digging, so we'll leave that there. Maybe. I don't know. Let's scoot it in and see what it looks like. Actually, I think I like it better like that. So yeah, we'll do it like that. And that is pretty much the extent. So at this point, it's all about just putting custom touches everywhere. So we're going to save at this point in the build. Didn't someone find a catch fence-like prop? Not to my knowledge, Taylor. I hope that that is the case one day, but no, not to my knowledge. I was gonna invite Magnus to the party, but I don't see him online. Alright, so what we could do from here is we could go ahead and make color changes that so we could do maybe black and white. Black and white. Black and white. Okay, we can make pit road yellow like it should be. What color should we make the walls? Help me out, Venomous. You're a track man. Green, purple, pink. Alright, black, purple. Yeah, I can hear you. It's not changing this one, I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Black? You tell me, man. It don't matter to me. Alright, what about these walls? Red and blue? Alright. Alright, so we got a... Wait, what? So you just hover over it, so once the cursor's over it like this, if you hit R1 and L1, it changes the color. So once you hover it over, if you look at the bottom, that little bar, it says zoom, switch color, height, switch cameras, fast zoom, delete. All those little buttons, if you hit that button while you're hovering over it, it'll do that corresponding movement. So if I hit L1 or R1, it changes color, and that's how you could do a color change quick to a track, is just by changing the color by hovering over. So this infield, I'm not a big fan of this white infield, so we could go green. We could do something other than white. Okay, now we still got 76 props plus 18 dynamic props. So technically, I mean, this track is ready to go. You could race this right now. But there's still some stuff I feel like we could do here to make it better. So with that being said, let's talk about inside apex props on this turn. So there are a few different things I have in mind here. Probably not going to work. but first thing would be a stunt target, something like this, just to kind of limit people, I would say. From cutting across. So what you want is something like that. So it's like a foot off the ground, so they can't cut it. But you don't want it right up on the track either to where it cramps them. So that's a solid like 2 car lengths off the track, so that should be just fine. We'll put one on this side, same spot. Kind of zoom in just to make sure. Alright, so that's looking good. We'll kind of pan out to make sure we're in the same. See, it's a little bit off, so we'll fix that. Scoot back over a little bit. That's pretty much perfect. Alright, we'll add some lights on this front stretch here. So again, we'll go to signs, stunt signs. Alright, we'll change this to black. What do you mean? What's that? The piece that I like just set, the big target pieces, like those big orange. Oh, yeah, the stunt wide. Yeah. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll put another light on this side. Like at this point, it's all just decoration, man, and there's nothing, none of this is needed. This is just all being set because we have lots of extra props. So we'll put that there. Oop, see down here, it's biting into the track a little bit, so that's a good catch. We'll get that backed off a little, because that's something like that. Catches a car, boom, your track sucks. That I'm telling you, bro, that's what it is. Something like that ruins someone's race, boom, they'll thumbs down your track and never play it again. Something like that. That's all it takes to trigger someone. Alright, so there's so many props here, man, I don't even know what to fucking do. Alright, so let's build more of a grandstand on this side. We'll go with something like this. We're gonna angle it a little bit, like seating, and then we're gonna drop it down. Okay, so something like that, I would say. Maybe a little lower. Something like that. And then we're going to take one of these, turn it to the side, try to find something that matches like that. Quarter-mile track I built somewhere between the skyscrapers. That was Hookah 500 Spear, and that's probably my favorite track of mine, man. It's a good track. So as you can see, this is kind of like a topper to a grandstand piece. Works well. So we'll go ahead and we'll lock that in so we get a good view. So that is kind of what it's going to look like. So we'll go ahead and change the colors so it matches. So that's what this side's looking like so far. Pretty cool. Kind of blocked out the Space Monkey sign a little bit, but it's alright. It's still visible. Coming around. Yeah, I mean this is pretty much good to go, man. Like, there's so many props here. Sometimes you just gotta accept that there's that many props left and not get too crazy with it. Alright, so Spear wants me to incorporate a 7 on here. Spear, do you realize how hard that's gonna be, you motherfucker? Unless it's some ghetto-ass looking number 7. Alright, so I just added that sign there just to kind of cover up that blue runway piece. I'm going to change the color of that to black too, just so it kind of blends in a little better. Black. Black. Alright, so on this back stretch, I think this is the only spot we kind of need some advertising over here, so we'll go to stunt signs, and we'll add some shit in. I like to use the Atomic and Burger Shot signs a lot. I feel like they're the most NASCAR-ish. So I'll just go ahead and sync those right to the bottom. And put one in the middle just to kind of give me reference. And then put this one over here. And then I'll put one on this end. Make sure they're all in line. And then if I could find something easier to kind of tie in the middle of them instead of using like 100 signs would be ideal. So maybe something like this. Switch it, switch it. Switch the color. What about actual seats? I mean, there's really not much for options there, Taylor. The only thing I could do is stagger grandstand like seats, which is kind of a pain in the ass, man. This is more of a beginner's tutorial type situation. I will give you your number 7 though, just because you've been patient. Alright, so a number 7. Taylor's gonna put me to the test here. I'll go ahead and do one of these. Yeah, their grandstand prop sucks, Taylor. You know I can't use that, man. That's about the best I could do for a number 7, Taylor. So, Venomous, I mean, that's about the extent of it, man. There's still a lot of props left where I could go around and, you know, put shit here and there, and I'm sure I will at some point, but for now, I'm going to show you how to publish it and finish it out. You know, the decorations thing, that's like the one thing you don't really have to teach, that just kind of comes natural to people. So, from here, I'll show you how to just kind of finish it out. So we'll go ahead and give it a title. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's right next to the Space Monkey sign. It's a track for you. So, I'll let you name it, man. It's up to you. Oh god. Alright. Taylor, if you have any name ideas, that would be big right now. Space Monkey 3D. It's got a basketball sign, and it was a track. Venomous Monkey or something like that. Sounds cool. Well, figure, so we got 25 characters. All my oval tracks have this powers tag thing in front of it, so count that. And then, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got about 17 characters. Venomous. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Ooh. 8 letters left. Venomous. On the spot. I'm not good at on the spot. Seven or so. Venomous. Oh, don't fit, motherfucker. Venomous oval. $300. Venomous oval $250. Venomous oval $500. So that's coming up. That's so description, you just kind of want to give them an idea of what it is. So this track is a 0.27 mile 5-degree banked. Oval. Okay, photo we won't do yet. That'll be the very last thing we do. Search tags. Loris is an actual monkey. I did not know that. That's actually pretty funny. Alright, maximum players. We'll fix that. We'll fix all that. Traffic. So what you want to do here, traffic always off. Always, always off. Wanted levels off. Background music off. Lobby radio, doesn't matter. Disable catch-up, doesn't matter. Ambient pedestrians off. And what that does is by turning all these things off, it eliminates any lag that might happen by having that shit on. Because when the game has to generate all these different things, it messes it up, you know, trying to load up all these different things. So we're going to go ahead and save it. We're at a good save point. So to make the track publishable, it has to be 0.62. So obviously this one is not 0.62. So we're going to go ahead and make it 0.62. So we'll delete all checkpoints. We'll go ahead and start replacing checkpoints. So we're going to need this here. We're going to have to do what's called the small grid glitch here, which you're going to have to do on a lot of short tracks. So we'll go ahead and we'll place that the small grid, and we'll put it at 30 players, which all the tracks need to be at 30 players because we have a lot of people in our crew that, you know, obviously the track's going to need to hold that amount. So we'll place this first checkpoint. Okay. We'll place the second checkpoint, and we're going to have to make this one a circular. So we'll place that. And then we go into delete options, delete all checkpoints. And if you're wondering why is he deleting checkpoints he just placed, this is why. So now when you place this one, it's going to be one of those big starting finish line checkpoints. It's called the start finish line checkpoint glitch. So see how it's a big circle now instead of that stupid little fucking thing that was there before? So that's one part of it, is how to get that checkpoint. So we'll go ahead and we'll place the second checkpoint here, or technically the first checkpoint. We'll place checkpoint 2 here, the exit of the turn. You always want one the entrance, the middle, and the exit, always. Okay, and now the entrance, turn 3, we'll put here. Now, to make it a publishable length, what we have to do is set the primary checkpoint way outside the track to where it's going to make it 0.62. So right about here. Then we switch to secondary to this checkpoint, which is number 4. So we'll go up here, we'll manually change it to 4. And we'll put it where it's supposed to be, right here in the apex. Switch it to circular. Boom. Now do you understand why I did that? Alright. So basically, long story short, it has to be 0.62 to publish it. So by placing a checkpoint way outside the track, we made it 0.62. Or 0.63 in this case. So to test it, it's going to be a little weird what we have to do, but it's not a big deal. So checkpoints are laid. It says that it's a 0.63 track. In reality, it's a 0.27. We had to place it way out there because Rockstar is retarded. Alright, so now it's at the point where it's ready to test. What we're going to do is we're going to switch it to the Shitaro. We're going to turn it to 1 lap, so when we test it, we only have to do it 1 time. First, we'll test the secondary track, because that one will be easy. It's just going around in a circle. Okay, so there's that one. Now we have to test that primary checkpoint. So here's the tough part. And here's where a lot of people don't know how to do this. So you could do this 2 ways. You could do it with a motorcycle and get outside the track, or you could do it with a monster truck and get outside the track. Monster truck, a little bit easier. It gets over the wall a little bit easier. Motorcycle might take some doing, some practice, but basically you gotta wheelie over the wall and then get that checkpoint, long story short. So I'm gonna have to do it over here. I think. Yeah. So you get outside the track. I might have went too far outside. Damn it. Yeah, I did. I might be able to get to it. I don't know. We'll see. So here's the hard part. Being a builder sometimes is like you go on these adventures, man, trying to figure out how to publish the tracks. So in this case, I got lucky. The track piece ended right there, so I could get this checkpoint. What's that? Yeah. So to get back on, it's kind of the same deal. You gotta just figure it out. Boom, back in. And there it is. Track is tested and now ready to publish. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to take a picture with the lobby camera to make it publishable. So we'll just do something like so. Okay, we'll go ahead and publish it. And now, to make it raceable in the other cars, we're going to have to go into race details, switch this to large grid, and then go into available vehicles, and you have to unlock every category. Okay, and then you switch it again to, or actually no, not yet, you don't switch it, you're gonna have to test it again. It's kind of a pain in the butt. These are all the stupid little loops that fucking Rockstar makes you jump through to publish a goddamn track. Alright, so now we'll test it again, primary. We're like 3 minutes away from racing this in custom cars, so it'll be well worth the wait, man. Really? I was eating an ice cube, Taylor, for my drink that is now empty. So these are some of the, little things that none of the people in the crew know that we have to do to get these tracks ready to race on, that they just thumbs down because they have a bad race, and not knowing that we had to go through all this bullshit to make the race raceable. So if you ever wonder why I get frustrated sometimes and people talk shit, this is why. Alright, so the track is now publishable again. So what we do, we go into race details. We make the default class sports hot ring, because that's what we do. At this point, the race is 100% ready to go. So we just go through all the settings again, make sure it's good, weather's current, traffic off, blah blah blah. All the other shit's off. IROC tag. We'll turn the laps up to like 15, short track. And that is good to go, man. That is a complete track, start to finish. Parts 1, 2, and 3. Hell yeah. Let's fucking race this motherfucker. Alright, so I'm gonna stop this stream and load it up online, and you and I will run it. Taylor, you're probably not online. If you are, you're welcome to join. If not, thanks for joining, keeping us company. Hope to see you online shortly. And yeah, man, thank you guys for fucking watching.